Hello global players, the 8th anniversary is finally here, and you might be asking yourself, which banner should I summon on first? There's two very enticing banners in the game right now, that being the GT Duo banner and the Boo Saga Duo banner. Both very exciting, both very hype, everybody's been waiting for them, all that fun stuff, but that's what we're here today for, to answer that question, to discuss which of the two Part 1 Dokkan Fest banners you should be giving your attention to first. Now, in an ideal world, you get both of them super fast, but we all know that's usually never the case. So if you have to go deep, which one should you commit to? Which one should you chase before going into it, right? Now, I say we because I am joined by somebody today. This is a very different thing for this channel. Usually it's all solo content, but I figured, hey, let's do a collab with somebody that I know, another up-and-comer like myself. His name is Jordan. He deemed himself the whale you've never heard of, but I'm not going to be the one to make that accusation, so you can say hello, Jordan. How you doing today?
Hello. How's everybody doing over here on the Vilify channel?
Something different, huh? Not used to that. So I want to pre-open this discussion by saying that the choice is ultimately up to you, but we're going to take the perspective of a JP player and a global player with a little JP on the side. I assume that's what you are. And we'll take these two perspectives and kind of give you the best insight that we can to make sure you're getting the most out of your stones. But with all the foreplay out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the discussion. Okay, so let us start with the Majin Buu Saga banner, the Buu Duo, better known as. This is, you know, as every other anniversary banner really has been, a solid banner with a lot of great options. Some a lot better than others, some to be determined, and then others that we know are getting an easy A. So I guess what we should just kind of start off with is the main unit themselves, and maybe a quick mention of the banner unit. They suck, and we can go back to the LR. But the Buu Saga Duo, obviously, aside from just looking like, you know, as cool as they look as this SSR art, the LR art is really cool. They have the standby mechanic. I'm sure if you guys keep up with Dokkan, you know exactly what this unit is doing with their standby and all that fun stuff. But overall, this is still, like, you know, we kind of see, alluding to what we talk about in the future, that, like, you know, the gap between the GT Duo and the Buu Duo. Don't let that fact decide, like, you know, what's the word? Distract you from the fact that this is a phenomenal unit that is going to win you content. The standby mechanic is going to save you in a lot of different situations, and the Super Spirit Bomb can hit as hard as just about anything in the game. And if you are just a fan of the Majin Buu Saga, I would say this is as good as a unit can get in terms of the Buu Saga, but it's ultimately, I don't know, if I were to rate them on a scale of like 1 to 10, I'd give them like a solid 9.5, because, you know, this is still one of the best units in the game.
I think I'd give him about 8.
An 8?
Yeah,
okay.
I think I'd give him an 8. I'm really not a huge fan of the Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan 2 form. To be fair, I only have them at 55%, but I do have their bronze and silver 8th anniversary equips on them.
Yep.
And I just cannot, like, anytime I run their team, I am terrified constantly because, like, oh great, I got one of them in the standby finally, like, I'm safe. and then it's like, oh crap, I have another one to worry about, and they're just never in the right spot, and they just, like, that second one I'm always concerned about.
I've often found myself hesitant to run 2 of them for both of the units, honestly.
Interesting.
Like the GT Duo, I'm never like dying to run 2 of them. Because you just get scared. It's just like, because like maybe one has the thing that you're looking for, and you're 100% right with the Buu Duo, where you have a lot more or a lot less leeway, where it's like if one's in the standby mode, you're good, but you are literally just like flirting with death if you don't have the other one in the standby. At least the GT Duo kind of bails you out a little bit, but you know, you still have to get to that standby. It's not like they just revive at any time.
Right. I was gonna say.
So
I don't feel pressured to get into their standby, though. I mean, I know we're getting a little distracted here. I was just saying, I don't feel as pressured to get into their standby as I do with the Buu Duo. I feel like the Buu Duo, it's a race to get into that standby for me.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I would agree with that. Because like usually, like, you know, low HP, you're not really getting to as often with the GT Duo. Like with the Buu Duo, you really can get scared. I had a clip where I was doing something with them, and it was like the 5 years I was focusing on, and I forgot to stack them, and type disadvantage after a triple super against an STR enemy. They were taking like 350k at normal.
Ooh, yeah.
Just because I forgot to stack. So, you know, you can get caught, but overall, still a phenomenal unit, and if you are a fan of the Super Spirit Bomb, then don't feel like you are making the wrong choice summoning for this unit. But enough talk about the main banner unit. We don't want this video to go on for 2 hours. Like I said, skip the banner unit. They suck. Let's get into the Gamma 1. Now, the case for Gamma 1 is, I would say, he is the superior Gamma between the two, just because of his defensive prowess and his slot 1 ability. I'm sure that I speak for most people when I say a unit that you can put in slot 1 is infinitely more valuable one that you can put in slot 2, because I feel like we get those way more often. What do you think?
I feel like every single unit is a slot 2 unit. Even the slot 1 units are still slot 2 units, yeah. So yeah, I would definitely agree. I'm not the biggest fan in the world either of Gamma 2. I've had Gamma 2, you know, it's like, what do you want to call him, like Salesman 2? You know, he's constantly out on the lot just selling me used cars because he just never does what I need him to. I'll never forgive him for the amount of artificial life form? Whatever run we had to do for the Cell Max mission.
Cell Max, it was special pose and artificial life form, yes.
Yeah, those 2 runs. I can't tell you how many times he was just like the reason I lost those runs. You know, other people are like, he's the reason I won, and I'm like, I wish he was mine. But,
yeah, my 100% Gamma 2 quad super quad crit 3 times. Yeah. It's like, okay, got it, my bad.
It's like, so. But yeah, I definitely value Gamma 1. Like, what he's bringing to the table overall, I value more than what Gamma 2 is bringing.
He is a slot 2 unit that you can put in slot 1, I guess would be the word.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Yeah, that's one, certainly a way to put it, right? Okay, like I said, I feel like that was good discussion there. We got sweet, short and sweet, got to the point. Yeah. Cooler. Now, Cooler is still a phenomenal extreme class unit. You know, not too many of those amazing extreme class units, but in this case, we do have one. His attack prowess is still some of the best in the game. The way he can do additionals and carry you through a lot of content with the amount of crits that he can potentially do. You know, doing 3 to 4 supers at 55%. You slap another additional, you have the potential to do 5, and all that stuff like that. He just has some attack numbers, and especially when you have him linked up with the other STR Cooler, it's just unheard of. You know, really, really good damage. Has aged just a tad bit because he is coming up on a year old, but still to the point where if you pull him, you should be excited unless you don't need him.
Oh yeah, and like just the leader skill alone that he's going to bring to your team, this is one of basically 2 good, I guess 3 now with Turles, but on global, this is one of 2 good, basically villain leaders on the team. One of them you can't get. We don't know exactly when he's coming back. That's the 23rd World Tournament Majunior. So if you're a new player, like this is basically your de facto villain lead right now, is this Cooler. So it's like, you know, you either get him or you don't run villain teams. It's kind of the way it is in Dokkan right now. So I would say that alone has a ton of value to it.
And beyond just that, not only is he the leader for the team, there's a 90% chance he's also going to be just the best unit on that team either way.
Exactly.
Like there's a very few amount of extreme units that you can even say are like possibly close to being better than Cooler, right?
Yeah. Say another thing.
Honestly,
I really like.
I don't know if any
Cooler.
are really.
Oh, what's that?
I don't really know how many, like especially on his team, how many units are like better than that Cooler?
No, I can't. Like movie bosses, he's probably the best. It's either him or Turles, and I think he's probably better than Turles. Transformation.
Yeah. His partner's a little more reliable, I would say, than AGL Turles at this point. STR Cooler's one of the best EZAs.
I'd say, but you do have Amand and Raisin, though, so... I mean,
very true. He's like Ginyu where you need the banner units. But Cooler, I would say, phenomenal unit still, and, really you can get your mileage out of him, especially as a newer player if you like running extreme class teams. This is your guy for you, for sure. So, transitioning from worldwide of 2022, let's get into the anniversary unit of 2022, the LR Super Saiyan Gods. Now, this is an important one because we'll talk about their counterpart a bit later because a lot has changed regarding that counterpart. If you know what I'm talking about, you'll probably understand what we're getting at, but the LR Gods is one of those units that you could throw on a lot of different teams, and they're going to work seamlessly due to their link set and, just their synchronization with other partners. You think about Tech God Goku, you think about LR Vegeta and Trunks. These guys work much better with units like that compared to the LR Super Saiyan 4s, but there's another side of the coin now that didn't exist a week and a half ago. So LR Gods, I would say going into this anniversary were like a no doubt slam dunk for being over the Super Saiyan 4s, but now things have changed a little bit, I would say. But you guys should know most about the LR Super Saiyan 4s, their guard ability, their movie heroes lead, power beyond Super Saiyan, a very valuable pure Saiyan leader, but you also have that versatility with movie heroes. Just all in all, a really solid unit still. Obviously not the best in the game anymore, but you could have argued them being the best for a very long time.
Absolutely. I mean, this is just an incredible unit. Whenever it comes down to them and like the Super Saiyan 4s, if you're comparing value between banners, this is pretty much a tie to me in my eyes. They both have pros and cons. And the nice thing too is that in the past year, we haven't really had any huge major step up in power creep. We've had like a few more difficult fights added that really help weed out some of the weaker units, but I mean, with some decent RNG, which is pretty much the same as it was whenever they came out, they can still be pretty dominant in all the fights across the game, so...
Yeah, the attack break that they can do is super valuable
Yes.
still. And they also, the only time they really are, like, they really have a flaw defensively is when dodge is disabled. Because if you have a chance for dodge, there's always that chance you'll get bailed out.
Which I would say is a bonus to Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, because he
Yes.
always has the 50% chance to counter super attacks. So.
Yes. When this came out on JP, this was not the case. The LR gods were just head and shoulders better due to the situations. But the game has changed a bit.
Say
So,
that. Don't sleep on that active skill either, by the way. Pretty good.
yes. Yeah, that too. But we're moving back in time here as we go between each banner, right, or between each unit, right? But now we are going to the major celebration beforehand. We have AGL Full Power Frieza. Now, when it comes down to this AGL Full Power Frieza, you are not going to get nearly the amount of versatility in terms of a leader like you would with Cooler. But if you do have Cooler and you pull this Frieza, these two can be a very dynamic duo, maybe on separate rotations, together on rotations. And this Full Power Frieza also has the perk of not having competition around his name compared to his counterpart, Super Saiyan Goku. This is the de facto best Full Power Frieza in the game still, and you can't say the same thing for the other Super Saiyan Goku. And that's where it kind of comes down to for me.
Yeah, one thing you guys want to keep in mind, too, a lot of people are going to look at this and say, like, oh, well, this unit's just really old. I don't really see the value in this unit anymore. It's like, well, keep in mind for new players or maybe players that, have just gotten unlucky on past banners and haven't been able to clear all the content in the game, this Full Power Frieza can still curb stomp, like the GT Goku event, the Legendary Goku event, and the Frieza event, basically everything that was out at the time of his release, this guy was curb stomping, like guaranteed
100%.
crits, blowing it out of the water. So if there's any old events that you haven't beaten that this guy can do, like compete in, this guy's still bringing a ton of value to your box, and is still really good in things like Battlefield. So there's something to be said about these units that it's just like maybe they can't compete in Red Zone, but they're still bringing a lot of value to your box. So keep that in mind.
It's like we said before we started recording, it's a very welcome perspective that, Battlefield still can be tricky for players, and, the Goku event missions, maybe something like that. I know we just recently got, like, what was it, a Target Goku or something like that mission where Full Power Frieza can slot in on the team, and those guaranteed crits, they add up, where you're doing like a 7 million attack stat that's a guaranteed crit. That just ignores type advantage, basically, with the amount of damage you're doing. But AGL Full Power Frieza, not much more to say other than really good, but obviously has aged a bit now, because he's coming up on 2 years old. Kind of a quick discussion here, kind of railing off these next few. We have our boy Int Super Saiyan GT Vegeta. Is a little bit contingent on Rainbow Orbs, but he does create them himself. He is a Vegeta's family leader, so that is very valuable, and the GT Hero team is obviously one of those. But if you do have like the LR Super Saiyan 4s or something like that, you're obviously not going to run this guy as a lead on that team.
I still use him a lot in Battlefield. That's about the only use I get out of him these days, but...
I feel like that's kind of almost a given with some of these units though, where it's like the unit came out past 2021. Yeah, I use him in Battlefield. He's pretty good. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. But this new JP Battlefield kind of has hands. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It does. I have tested it out.
Yeah. Yes. So speaking of JP Battlefield, the boss of JP Battlefield at the moment, the current newest boss, Evolution Blue Vegeta. Now, I feel like most of the discussion on this guy is the same exact discussion we're going to have about the 5-year units. I'm sure most of you guys are aware of their EZAs. There is a very, very high chance that this guy, as well as the AGL UI Goku, do in fact get their EZA during the 9-year celebration, which I know is in a year from now, but at JP it's only in 6 months, so we're going to know exactly what these guys are rocking with very soon. And Vegeta, it's a very simple fix. All they have to do is just not reset his damage reduction every turn, and he's going to be a monster.
I think they also need to throw some key on him.
Yes. It's very, like, the fix for him is very simple. It doesn't need to be a whole new kit, is basically what I'm at, right?
Yes, yeah. Definitely.
Yes, so, on the cusp, if you pull him, view him as an investment. You're going to wait. If you have him rainbowed, you can use him in Battlefield still, go figure, but...
yeah.
He's really going to become endgame viable by the time when his EZA comes around, because, usually they don't miss with these yearly anniversary EZAs, so... Yeah,
really just the Dokkan Fest LR EZAs in general have been very good, and this guy's kit is one of those that's... It's got... Like, you can see where it could be really good if they just fix the damage reduction a little bit, maybe give them, like, 40% start a turn base, and then let them build up to 70%, and then keep it. Don't have the... He's going to still have the turn reset, let's be real, but, if he just started at 40... You give him more key in his passive. I think this guy, there's something special that I think could be cooking with this guy. Something
special is one way to put it, right? Yeah. And something else that could be kind of special. Really, aside from like AGL UI Goku, the king of the God event, STR Vegito. If you know, you know. Transform into him real quick, find the super, quit the app, and go back in. That's all I got to tell you about this unit, right? But on a serious note, his DPS, or whatever you want to call it, his APT, could still be extremely high. A very high damaging output unit that has okay tankiness in his base form, especially in not so new content. Is he going to solo Sin Shenron for you? No. Is he going to be good in the God event? Yes. Is he going to be good in the Legendary Goku event? Yes. Is he going to be good in SBR and ESBR? Absolutely. It's just, unfortunately, he did kind of reach that cap at around like part 2 of the 7th Annie with like Red Zone Baby and Red Zone Metal Rildo, where he just can't hang anymore.
Yeah. There are some Red Zone stages, right, where you can kind of get away with hiding some characters. Like Omega, for instance, you can kind of hide some characters against Omega. So, like, even this guy, you get that heal on turn 4, you float him off, and then you just have a 10-turn scouter, and you just try to hide him the rest of the fight. That is a viable strategy I've seen people use. I think I've seen people even beat Broly with this guy on the team, just because that 10-turn scouter just helps so much. It's like, you got to get a lot of luck in the attack placement, but
literally 0 hits in slot 3.
Yeah,
but
don't get touched, but
yeah.
you know where the supers are. So
at the end of the day, gameplay in Dokkan is all RNG, really. You can control some things, but you can't control where supers are most of the time.
Oh, speaking of Red Zone and banging your head against a wall, the daily limits are going to be removed. So if you do just want to slam your head against the wall and try to get Super Vegito the win against Broly, go for it.
Yep. Super Vegito, a fun case. Again, he could potentially EZA soon too, because they are coming up on 3 years old. But let's talk about, instead of talking about it could be EZA, let's talk about a real EZA. And that is
Dad.
one of the most hype units of all time right here we're talking about, and that is STR Gogeta Blue. I mean, Gogeta Blue, you have an LR art for Gogeta Blue. People are going to be excited about this, and this EZA definitely did not disappoint, along with his counterpart in Tech Vegito. Just becomes an absolute mammoth when you transform him. The guaranteed dodges are just not to be played with. 3 to 4 supers, all over 10 million, basically. He is doing a lot, and it's not hard for him to look impressive and take down just about any boss with his attack numbers.
Yeah, listen, this guy, these guys on release were so much fun, and I feel like they're actually more fun after their EZAs. Like, I feel like, personally, whenever they released, I got a lot of flack because I was saying, like, I don't really... Because I think Extreme Super Battle Road launched, like, shortly after, right?
That was the bar.
It launched shortly after, and you could kind of feel, it's like, okay, these guys, we got to kind of just put them in slot 3 and hope that, they don't ever get touched. And that was the difficult content at the time. And I was kind of a little down on them, and people were like, "What do you mean? Just build them." And it's like, well, you don't build them up in Super Battle Road. I don't know what do you want me to tell you, but it's like I think they feel perfect. Like I don't think they could have made them better.
Yeah, with those easy, I mean, just like the guaranteed dodging when you transform is just so valuable.
Yes.
I mean, you think about like what UI Goku brings to the table, and take away the HP restriction, and you get it sooner.
And it's guaranteed. So, like, you know exactly when you're going to get that turn of guaranteed dodging,
no matter what.
Which gives you.
So there's like
you can really plan around it.
Really, the best transformation and condition in the game, except for Golden Frieza, the physical one, right? Where it's just like
whenever you
turn
want.
4, right? You're getting it at turn 4, and it's not a choice. It's just you're becoming blue. You're going daddy mode in turn 4. So
very, very good. Also, they gave them new OSTs, which is
they did give them new OSTs for OST suckers. Not me, but a lot of people, right?
Pretty good.
So that's I feel like we went a little too in depth there, but that was the case for the Boo Duo banner. That's the rationale behind every unit. Again, these anniversary banners, this is one of these cases where you really can't go wrong. So if you choose to summon on this banner, I can't sit here and tell you were objectively wrong. I could tell you that maybe I think the GT banner is more valuable, but that is what we're going to get into next. So without further ado, let's transition on over to the GT banner. I'm sure you're pulling it up on your screen as well.
Yes, we have it.
But so kind of the same idea of what I talked about with the Boo Duo, minus the scary part on defense with the GT Duo. This is, one of, if not the best units in the game still. They had their crown for a decent bit. I think a lot of people would say, now personally, I prefer Orange Piccolo, but I do understand the case for this GT Duo. This is, you can argue they're still the best unit in the game on JP 6 months later. So
yeah, it's really tough for me too. Like thinking about I think there are 3 units that are clear number 1, like could have an argument, and that's the Bulma, this unit, and Orange Piccolo. all for various reasons.
They all do different things too, and that's what makes it so hard to argue.
Yeah, and it's like they're all just. I think what gives them that little bit of extra something, I can't really describe it, but that like intangible value that they have is just what they bring to the rest of the team around them, and it's just like that revive and the support whenever you get it. I mean, they make the 23rd World Tournament Goku look like the best TUR in the game. You know, it's like I have a huge complaint with that guy because I never get his 50% chance to guard. Well, I just, get this guy around him. I know that they're going to die. And then, boom, he's just like an insane slot 1 tank that's shooting out a bajillion supers, crits, and just going insane. So it's just like their value that they bring to the team is just immense.
Yeah, 23rd World Tournament Goku is one of those units. Unfortunately, I did not pull during Golden Week.
I'm sorry.
This is one of those cases where I was more enthralled by the superhero units, where I was like, I just wanted, Orange Piccolo because I didn't have them either.
Yeah.
They ended up taking Golden Week ended up robbing me of 1,000 coins. We'll just leave it at that. That's how my summons went. But yeah, I think you bring it up really well, where you take this Goku and you amplify his value and make one of the best TURs in the game look even better.
Yeah.
And when you also have one of the best LRs in the game, you smash them together and you just have a team that's very hard to stop.
Absolutely.
Now, comparatively to the Boo Duo, I believe that most people would tell you that they are better. And if you were on JP at the time, you would know the initial night of the banners, nobody was summoning for this unit except for people that make content, really. And, the 1 in every 10 people is a GT fan. They were summoning for them, too. But they're not what people were summoning for on this banner. What people were really summoning for, Anniversary Ice and Nova.
Absolutely.
This is what the JP, the global, the player base, this is what everybody was waiting for. See, I got so excited I hit my mic. But Anniversary Ice and Nova. I guess we can cut the foreplay. They suck.
No, what do you mean?
But what I found really funny about this was kind of the get back that Legends players had about this. Because, we always laugh about Anniversary PyCon and Anniversary Ice and Nova, and then, lo and behold, there they are. What'd they sneak in on the GT Duo banner?
Anniversary Ice was actually good, though, in Legends.
Yes, I know, but you know what I mean. It's like Dokkan, they just made it like even more of a meme, really, because like they're unusable. I don't even have them, and I'm not batting an eye about it. So as you can see,
I'm gonna pull 15 copies of this unit. I can feel it.
Yeah, you've only got about an hour. We're recording this about an hour before the banner, so everyone wish Jordan luck.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I have the luxury of not being nervous about summons tonight, so that is good. I guess it is different when you have 3,000 stones, though. I never go into a night with 3,000 stones.
Listen, usually the more stones I have, the worst I feel. We're at 3279 at the moment. We'll see.
All right. Yeah, good luck. But let's move on to our compadre. Jordan had his case about him earlier, and this is Gamma 2. Gamma Numero Dos.
Only
one of these
as good
guys
as his OST. That's what I have to say.
I agree with that. That's probably one of my favorites. But he is one of these, like, he's an enigma. He can look really good, but he can also let you down. And I think really one of the big problems with him is he was designed around being like a get out of jail free card for Cell Max, and in Cell Max he's type disadvantage. So defensively he just cannot overcome that as consistently as you'd want him to, and I feel like that kind of puts like a scar on like how you would want to evaluate him. Imagine if Cell Max was like int or something like that, and this guy didn't take as much as he did from supers, like the double multiplier. He'd probably be like, oh my god, he's so much better than Gamma 1 just because of the attack he's putting out. But well, life's unfair. He's type disadvantage against the event he was designed for. So
yeah, I will say too, another thing just on Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. I feel like if you get Gamma 2, like you have to go get Gamma 1. Whereas I feel like if you get Gamma 1, you're fine. Like you have.
I'm literally the living proof of this. I have Gamma 1, I don't have Gamma 2, and I want Gamma 2 really bad, but I am glad that I have this one instead of Gamma 2.
Yeah, man, Gamma 2, he can't do it on his own. He needs the shield of Gamma 1. And
he is Jordan without he is Pippin, right? Or he's Jordan, he needs his Pippin.
Yeah. Well,
Gamma 1 is Pippin. He holds it down.
Yeah.
Well, Gamma 2 is going to get all the credit for the core breaker. But
I don't know if I'm calling Gamma 2 Michael Jordan, but
come on,
I get the analogy.
Yeah. All right. Enough talk about these Gammas. I'm gonna, Jordan and Pippin. That's all you got to remember about those two. Okay, so the sad thing is people probably won't even get that.
Dude, no, somebody will.
I would say I don't know how Dragon Ball fans get down with the NBA, but
I feel like they do.
Let's move on to
another disappointing unit.
I'm tempted to say the worst Dokkan Fest LR release ever.
Ooh.
They're not. They can look. I don't know. They can look really impressive, but that morale boost is hard to get. If we want to talk about for the time they came out and the standard, like these guys did not live up to.
Oh, absolutely, I agree.
And you think about the partner, like who? So think about it, right? Int Vegito, Physical Gogeta, gods of the game.
Yeah.
What was the next one? It was the 4-year anniversary, and then we had the Go Bros who were arguing with Super Super Good. Then I want to say after that it was the 5-year anniversary. They were on top of the game.
Yeah.
And then we have Tanabata
that was
year,
the Super
Blue
Saiyan
Boys?
Blue Kaioken and
would we say they were disappointing? They just needed rainbow orbs. I guess maybe.
They just never had a time to shine. Like we could see their power. They just never got their time in the sun.
Right, and then after that, we have 6-year Evolution Blue Vegeta was the second best unit in the game at the time. Don't let the revisionist history tell you he sucked. Tanabata 2021, that's Tech Gogeta. Oh, we also forgot about Worldwide that year. We have
Vegito and
we have Vegito.
It was Gohan and Cell.
Oh, Gohan and Cell, right. I forgot about them. And then we have Vegito and Bootanks. I mean, you tell me. It feels like every time they do a Dokkan Fest LR, they're the best unit in the game. And this guy...
Cell was a little disappointing before the Link level update.
Yeah, but he was a Super Battle Rogue king.
He
was. Dokkan World did a video of him and 5 Cybermen, and he was able to do that. I don't know. I really don't feel like that's as hot as a take as you might think it is.
Now that you say that. Well, actually, no, it's not.
Who is it? Who am I missing?
He's got silver hair sometimes, but not in Dokkan. Nice purple aura. Friends with Orange Piccolo. Rhymes with Beast Gohan.
Yeah. So You're probably right.
Just in terms of like hype,
like the letdown. Yeah. But where were we ranking him on the game, though? Because I'm just kind of talking about how they are in game.
Yeah, no, if you're basing it on performance, then yeah, I would say this
is like the 9th best unit. Like, they were like the 8th best unit in the game when they came out. And Cooler was just like, imagine they came out on this like dual Dokkan Fest. It's not even close.
Yeah.
You're summoning Cooler, right? I feel like we don't even need to get into the kit. Like, that discussion alone was our take on this unit, right? It's like, we have to think about, was he the worst Dokkan Fest LR release of all time, right?
Yeah.
And that's...
They're definitely up there.
But.
Their animations are killer, though.
Godly, leader skill, pretty good.
Just ignore that whole little passive part. Just don't look at that.
Just ignore the thing that literally makes every unit what they are, and they're amazing.
They're great.
Yeah.
Ignore that morale boost condition specifically.
We hinted at this earlier, but regarding this next unit, the game has kind of changed a bit, and that's the physical LR Super Saiyan 4s. Going into this anniversary on JP, they didn't really have any GT buffs. Not a ton of linkage partners that you could really use to make them look their best. Slot 1, they weren't really viable because turn 3, you're just getting absolutely lit up in slot 1 with these guys because they lose their guard. But, like I said, the game has changed now. Jordan mentioned it earlier, but the counter update. Dodge nullification no longer means you can't counter. And so now, a unit like the Broly AoE is now, you can counter this in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And not only that, we also have a top 5 unit in the game as their slot 1 linking partner in Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So all of a sudden, this GT team and the team that Super Saiyan 4 Goku leads, these guys can just seamlessly fit on, go in slot 2, and they can look super, super impressive. The counter chance is just huge. It's like there's just so much that's going on with this unit now. And all of a sudden, they went from having this not dead on arrival, but this dead period where you couldn't really run them anywhere because they didn't have any help. But now all of a sudden on the premier team with the GT duo above them and the LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, that's 2 of the 5 best units in the game right there that you're going to be using with them all the time.
Yeah. I was going to say, this unit, I think they're probably the most hype unit ever in Dokkan, is this unit right here.
I get what you're saying. I just, I feel like, I don't know, man. The 5-year releases.
The 5-year releases were really hype, and so were the early days. But I feel like right now, I don't know. This unit, I feel like this unit holds a special place in people's. We've been wanting this LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta since the 4th anniversary. Whenever they announced the 2 LR Super Saiyan 4s, people were making leaked arts of the LR, and there's this figure art. It's this was so highly anticipated. We finally got it. He was the best unit in the game on release. And I don't know, this unit is just
this unit is what Beast Gohan should have been. Go figure, they're both physical.
He busts out that Ultra Big Bang Kamehameha. He turns around and looks at you, and it's
To me, it's the shot of them merging together.
Ooh,
That's
that
the best
too,
part.
yeah. He
it's like one
pulls
of
back
best
the
shots they've
elbows.
done.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Okay. Before Jordan has a just a fangirl session here,
Yes.
let's move on. I mean, these guys, this banner got a lot better with this update, with these guys being as good as they are now. But It Namek Goku, kind of what I hinted towards earlier is just the same name, right? We think about Super Saiyan Gokus. We have so many in the game at the moment. We have the exchange one that goes in with Gohan. We have the Tech Carnival one. We have the STR Carnival one. And it's just like, if I wanted to sit here and list every Super Saiyan Goku in the game, we'd be here for 20 minutes, right? And it's like, this guy is probably the worst of the bunch that I just listed, right? It's like, in any situation where you can run the Carnival version of him, you're running the Carnival version of him. His stacking is very nice, and against Frieza's with the guaranteed crit. Think about the first form Frieza EZA. This guy is going to shred it up until rank 999, just with his guaranteed crits and stuff like that. But really, just kind of a product of his time. And Super Saiyan Goku is kind of a cursed name because we're always going to be getting Super Saiyan Gokus.
And apparently base Gokus too as well. So.
Yes, base Goku is like the same thing as Super Saiyan Goku, where it's like another one of these whenever you see it. And guess what? Super Saiyan Goku is the face of Dragon Ball, and it's never going away. So,
I don't really have anything enlightening to add to this guy. I mean, he'll help you in old content, but I was always kind of underwhelmed with him on release just because I didn't think his defense was where it needed to be at the start of battle.
Yeah,
but if you need some long event that you need this guy, pull him up. You know?
Still can look very impressive. But what did our everyone's favorite Dokkan tuber say? He destroys quest mode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so moving on to another unit that really just like is good at like one thing, and that's GT Super Saiyan Goku. The only real usage that you're gonna get out of him, aside from like early game content, is the punching machine.
Hey, you know,
and that's something. That's free stones. That's free Zenny.
That's free title.
Unless you use the airplane mode glitch, which I know a lot of you watching probably did. I didn't. I'm a good boy.
I will say, if you're a new player, this is a nice pickup for that punching bag, and just some
Goku
other stuff.
Family lead.
Yeah, and he's a Goku family lead, which is really good. This is a great pickup for like new players. It's going to get you access to a lot of free stones and like an orb changer and just like a great unit. But this guy, like, he's good for the God event, and that's about his peak. So.
Yes, I think that's a good way. And, you know, what better way to transition from the God event into the unit that was the God event, essentially. My favorite unit in the game still, AGL UI Goku. I'm not going to say he's top 10. I'm not going to say he's top 20, but he's still my favorite. He's number one in my heart.
You haven't built full dodge?
I do not. I just have the anniversary equips on him.
Oh, okay, well, that's okay.
I think at one point I had like 32 additional on him.
Yeah.
Or it's just like, you know what, I'm going to die by his shield. His 70% chance to dodge is good enough for me. Give me the additionals. Give me a little bit of crit, so that way in case the 50% chance does a proc, the hidden potential system bails me out.
That's basically how I feel.
Yeah, but this is one of so the beauty of this unit is he's a guy that's going to do everything that you need him to do at 55%. Where it's like the additional supers with the crits, the dodging. Obviously, he's better Rainbow. There's no arguing that. But if you want like a unit that's going to, you know, kill the game at 55%, this is one of them.
Yeah, and as long as you can dodge, this guy will be effective forever. I mean, he's got a 70% chance to dodge all attacks, so long as you can dodge. So, I mean, if you can dodge, you know, roll your dice, test your luck. I mean, you can bring this guy. So
feels more like 30. Haha, funny.
Yeah. Pretty good link set too, with prepared for battle and shocking speed. So
link set leaves a little bit, or not link set. Leader skill leaves a little bit to be desired, though.
Yeah, that's
more of a shoe in on bond to parent child, bond to friendship, Goku family, Kamehameha, stuff like that. You don't really run reps of U7 right now.
Right.
We are not in Legends.
Sadly. Oh wait, what?
Yeah. So, again, so let's transition from that and the celebration before it. We have everybody's favorite LR Boo Tanks, LR Buhan. Where's Kid Boo? They ask. You don't get your Kid Boo. You're gonna get your Boo Tanks, and you're gonna like it. That's where
Mr.
I'm feeling
Bubblegum.
right. Mr. Well, I think both of them are Mr. Bubblegum, but this
he's
guy's got
Mr.
croissants on his
Bubblegum.
shoulders, you know.
Kid Boo is like Lil Bubblegum. This guy's Mr. Bubblegum.
Mr. Bubblegum. Okay, so that's his new name. LR Mr. Bubblegum. Not really too much to say about this. Kind of the same gripe that I have with you have with LR Int Goku, where just the defense isn't high enough right away, and like you need the 18 key, which is not a gimme on this guy.
Yes. Also, he needs Boo units, and
not too many of them. Oh, but AGL
specifically
Super
though,
shut up.
Big Bad Boss's Boo units, which are
and he came out with AGL Cal. So shut up. It's not enough.
Yeah.
LR Kid Boo, damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to talk too much about him because this video is long enough as it is, but this is where things get interesting. As we mentioned with STR Gogeta, we have Tech Vegito here, and Daddy Mode is basically the same thing. This guy, 4 to 5 supers, when you do his active skill and then do 5 supers, I don't know if there's a boss in the game that can survive this.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I was like, I'm pretty sure he can do 5, right?
Like a burst mode boss.
Yeah, a burst mode
maybe.
boss with like damage reduction and defense and HP to the max, where it's like regular endgame bosses don't have those defensive conditions. And it's like you were just intentionally juicing it, or you're on like a private server and purposely doing that.
Yeah.
Bosses don't survive his active skill and 5 supers.
No.
Because he's probably built up, we're talking 15 million off the rip, and then 13, then 13.3,
Yep.
and then you just keep going, right? And it's like, when are you going to stop? He doesn't.
He doesn't. No.
And then if you have him linked up with the STR Gogeta, guess what? Another 10, 9, 8, 9, right? It's like, okay, yeah, no boss can live these two when they're at their best. And that's what's so cool about them. Like you said, like as much fun as I've had playing the game in a long time. I went back and no-itemed every single red zone stage with those two.
Oh, yeah.
Even the stages that disabled dodge. And it still wasn't that hard.
Yeah, these guys are just something special. And this guy's going to be a little bit more consistent, too, than Gogeta with his defense, because he's going to always get those guaranteed additionals, which I do value a lot. So this guy is something else. I'll say that.
Okay. I feel like we did a lot of discussing here today.
Yeah.
And one thing I have to preface this with is, at the end of the day, the choice always does come down to you. And what banner do you prefer? What units do you need more of? What units do you have rainbowed? I would say if you were just summoning for objectively the better unit, you go for the GT duo. If you are looking for the better content within the banner, I would argue that you summon for the Boo duo. Just solely based on the fact that, the LR gods might be a little bit more versatile on global for now, because Tanabata is still a ways away. We still have, the Gamma, Cooler, like the headliners and the LRs, especially like the newer units, this banner clears. But when you get into like kind of the nitty gritty and down here, you have like the better units on the side of the GT Duo banner. Yeah. But it's really close, right? And
yeah,
I'd
say they're pretty much dead even to me. But.
I'd hate to not give you a definitive answer, but, I think if you had to, if you put a Frieza beam to my head, I would say summon on the Boo Duo banner, just based on the contents within it, because you get a fusion animation, there's just a better chance you're going to get a more usable unit, and that's kind of what it comes down to for me.
I would agree, especially if you're a new player. I feel like there's a lot more solid leads. I say a lot more. You have Cooler and the Boo Duo, right? Everybody on the GT banner is pretty complementary to their teams, whereas like you can run Gamma 1 as a leader, you can run Cooler as a leader, you can run the Boo Duo as a leader, so even though I'm spooked running them as a leader, I will say yes. Like new players are going to get a lot more value, especially out of this banner.
Yeah, I'd say that makes a lot of sense. So let us know down below a lot of different things. What do you think about each banner? Which one are you summoning on? How did your summons go? If you did reach to this point listening to us babble on about these units, I do appreciate that greatly.
Same.
Yeah. These will be going up on both of our channels, this discussion, but the intros will be a little different. So if you want to hear how Jordan spiced it up, go ahead and view his channel and please subscribe to him. He's on the come up. It could be 2 months from now and he has a bigger channel than I do. But, I appreciate you coming on, and thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you did enjoy. Like I said, go check out Jordan. Subscribe if you are new here. Good luck on your summons, and I'll catch you guys next time.
See you guys.